Hello and welcome to Smiling Souls. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray and Wendy Tadiucci. How you doing today?
Hey, better now that nothing's attacking me.
Yeah. Wendy was attacked by her water, her chair.
I sat down, I opened this thing up, and just, oh my God. All hell broke loose. Oh, sorry, Val. We just talked about this. Like the bottle kind of exploded and it dripped down onto my cords, which are right underneath this. Then I turned around, I knocked a bunch of stuff off the table behind me, and then I ran over my big toe with my chair. I'm like,
It's one of those days.
what the heck?
We're going to shake it off and just keep going.
I'm better now. So that's how
Yes.
I'm doing. How are you doing, Steph?
I'm good. I ended up, I recorded a podcast this morning with somebody. So yeah, so it's been a somewhat busy morning, but good.
Ooh. With Heather?
No, this guy named Trey. I met him on the Needs Up Guest website on the Facebook. But
Okay.
he's nice. It was a good interview. So yeah,
That is exciting. Can't wait to see that. Yeah, go you.
Yeah. So just that and busy day of recording, and then later I have to actually be, a present mother because it's summertime and my child is home.
It's summertime. Yeah. I don't know of that. No children.
No.
You're a great mom.
No, actually, just before the call, before we hopped on, I was utilizing ChatGPT for the good reason of, I asked Chat what were good apps to help, what are good applications that are free that could help keep his brain working, in the math and science and Englishes.
Right.
And it gave me a whole list of suggestions, and so then we were reading through them, and he got excited about a couple. So
That's good news.
Yeah, so we downloaded one that's actually from MIT. So I'm very excited about it. It's like coding and create your own games and all sorts of fun things. So he's very excited.
Can he create an app for us?
Maybe at some point.
Right.
He's not there yet.
Okay. Never know. I'm sorry, but so you saying that, do you guys remember, Stephanie and Valerie, when you were growing up? My mother did the same thing. She gave me flashcards in the summer. Did you guys ever get this business? Here's some math flashcards. Who wants to? I don't think I even cracked that thing during the summer.
I would get yelled at for not knowing my math flashcards well enough. Yeah. Like she'd go to do them with me and she'd be like, what's this? And like once you hit the multiplications, my brain kind of stopped working on math, and
me too.
I can do it now, but it was not good. And she'd be like, come on, what's 4 times 5? And I'd be like, I don't know. So flashcards are not good.
Flashcards are not great. Oh my gosh.
No. Well, especially if you're struggling, it's not going to help you get better at it. Like I've never been one of those people that like I would watch people in college like writing notes and just being like, and absorbing the knowledge, and I'd be like, that doesn't work. I have to read and write it 10,000 times and read it 6 more times and maybe sleep with the book on my head.
I know. I had to write it, rewrite it, read it, say it, listen to it.
Yes, I had to do it all the ways. Yeah.
Lordy.
Yep.
Well, speaking of cards.
Yeah. Is it time for Oracle cards?
Is it? Right?
It is. Yeah. It is.
Okay, good. It's been a while. We haven't been recording for a couple weeks.
So, I know.
Yeah. A little off.
I've been on vacation.
Yes. So who wants to go first?
Well, why don't you go and then I'll go and then you can pull one for Valerie.
Yay. Okay. So my angels this morning guided me to this pack, Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards. And they guided me to pull High Priestess.
Ooh.
Harness Mystic Power. It says align with the light and focus on all things positive. The High Priestess is the physical embodiment of the divine feminine, the goddess in human form. She has had many names through time and space, but her essence has remained similar. fierce, powerful, and disciplined. In many traditions, particularly pre-Christian, the high priestess was in charge of spiritual and religious orders and was the voice of authority and guidance from the gods. The high priestess in this deck is the consort and partner of the high priest, and if you look at them together, you will see they mirror each other's energy. She is joined by a black cat representing the Egyptian goddess Bast, who protects her from lower energies, and she stands strong in her glory and power. So that is what I chose.
Very cool.
I know, right?
Yeah. So I pulled teaching and learning. I didn't even think about that when we were talking about that story just now.
Dang.
But Archangel Zadkiel. Yep. Keep an open mind and learn new ideas. Then teach those ideas to others. You are a spiritual teacher and an avid learner. Learning and teaching are linked in a perfect cycle in which information comes to you when you need it. Teach others about the topics that awaken your passions. And the more you teach, the more your lessons are reinforced within yourself. Be open to sharing new ideas and learning about topics that aren't in your immediate sphere of interest. Your students will teach you in many ways too. Trust in your teaching and learning abilities, as your mind is one with the divine mind of God. You are an intelligent and wise being, knowing that it's safe in this lifetime for you to be outspoken in your teachings. Working with Zadkiel he is the ultimate spiritual professor. He is patient, kind, and has access to all knowledge. He is widely known for his ability to help human memory function. If you need to remember or memorize any information, ask for his assistance. Anything that you need to know, he is glad to teach you. Just ask him questions in order to elicit his help. Sometimes Ezekiel uses the Socratic method of teaching, which means that he'll lead you so you can learn it for yourself. Being observant of patterns is in everything that you see, hear, and think is the best way to benefit from his teachings. So that was very funny. Well, goes along with all the stories.
Exactly. If we would have just known about him and we were
right, where was he when I was in college, struggling in biology, in chemistry, really?
You know, we do the best with what we have, with where we're at, with whatever.
Exactly.
Okay. And the other funny thing is, you guys will hear about this, but Valerie was my student in a coaching program. So how funny is that? Okay. And speaking of Valerie, so here are the cards, and I will begin the shuffle, and you tell me when you feel like I should stop.
Now.
Bottom, top.
Top.
You got the sun card. Okay.
I like that one.
Enjoy success and happiness.
Oh, good.
So shall it be, and even better beyond your wildest dreams. Okay. So where's my book? Sun. So I love this. Sun. Oh my goodness, Wendy. Here we go. Right. Valerie. Know that doors are opening for you. Follow up new projects, ventures, and ideas. Connect with the inner fire that is driving you forward. The sun has been long associated with the energy of success. It's the most powerful planet in the solar system. So, of course, when the sun card appears in a reading, it will bring power, success, and light. It brightens up all connections, banishes darkness, brings a sense of youthfulness, and invites you to connect to the energy of joy so that you can be a light in spirit and heart.
Thank you. That's a good one. I like that.
That is a really good one. I love that. Okay, so hey, everybody, got a question for you. Have you ever felt like you don't deserve to put the oxygen mask on yourself first because you don't feel worthy to take care of yourself? I'm here to tell you from personal experience that as a result of that, you're probably experiencing burnout if you are not already, because that's for sure what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a solution for you, and it's really easy and it's fun and it's actually kind of beautiful. I created this journal for you. And so this journal is your self-care sanctuary, right?
Mhm.
And inside, I've got some journaling prompts. Actually, I've got 30 days of journaling prompts. So you get in there and it's not like, I don't know what to write. You're directed, right, to write. And then I also give you some blank pages so that when you feel like getting something off your chest,
Mhm.
out of your head, you can just get in there and be in the flow and do that. But one of the journaling prompts is about releasing guilt, right? Because who doesn't have some kind of guilt, right? I do from time to time. And so this is just a way to guide you through all of these prompts. And after 30 days, you're going to have peace of mind. So head to the website, which is coach-wendy.com/journal. Write your name, type your name, good grief, type your name, your email address, hit download now, and you get this immediately. You can start today. And so remember, this is for you. This is for your peace of mind. coach-wendy.com/journal. All right. So Valerie Holden is the founder of St. George Hypnosis Center and the creator of the Bossy Woo coaching program, where she helps women reduce stress, reconnect with their purpose, and live a life aligned with their soul's mission. A former police officer turned spiritual guide, Valerie blends practical wisdom and deep energy work to create real, lasting transformation. She's a certified transpersonal hypnotherapist with advanced training in sound healing, Reiki, QHHT, EFT, yoga, and more. Through her private sessions, workshops, and signature programs, Valerie helps women gain clarity, ignite courage, and build confidence to follow their path with power and peace. She's an international best-selling author with more books on the way, and a passionate voice reminding us you are your own boss and the soul knows the way. Oh my gosh. So welcome, Valerie Holden. Yay!
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so many questions. First off, how did you go from being a police officer to being in the spiritual realm?
That was actually funny. I think I was about 3 or 4 years into police officer, and I started taking a yoga class at my gym just for exercise. And I love the Shavasana, where you just relax at the end. That was like a sort of a spiritual experience for me. And the lady who was teaching Reiki had a presentation one night, and it was going to be color therapy and Reiki. And I had no idea what Reiki was. And I thought color therapy was what color to paint your walls for different things. So that's why I went. It turned out color therapy was the chakras. And then Reiki, she asked for a volunteer, and I had a kink in my neck. So I volunteered, and mine immediately heated up, got my tingles, the pain went away. It was great. So I started learning Reiki from there and just started doing more personal development stuff, and did learn the hypnosis, and then the QHHT, which is the quantum healing hypnosis technique, which includes the past life regression and connecting with the higher self. And it just sort of grew from there. And I love it. And what was interesting, I still kept my job, but I did these other things on the side. I had my own little Reiki business, but coworkers would tell me when I showed up on a scene, everything would calm down. And I think it was just all this other spiritual work and the things I was learning that just kept me calm. And then that energy just went out and helped everybody else too. So that was always interesting. That was neat. And I got to do Reiki sometimes at work. There was one lady, the ambulance was taking her to the hospital, and while we were waiting to take off, I just got to do some Reiki on her head, and hopefully that helped her.
Nice.
I'm sorry, I just had an idea. what if you could teach that to all the police forces in the country? How different that energy would be.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because I've thought about teaching stress management or something, but yeah, if they
Mm-hmm.
could actually go and do that out there, and it's really needed right now.
That would just raise the vibration
Yeah.
out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
That'd be
okay, so
amazing.
let's talk about your I didn't know what this QHHT was until you mentioned it. And you talk about first of all, tell us more about that and tell us about the experience that really captures the kind of work that you do as it relates to QHHT.
QHHT went, Dolores Cannon is the woman who created that. And originally she created it as you just have one session and that's all you ever need. But as I was doing it, I would have people come to me looking for their life purpose. And a session includes visiting a past life, which a past life could be something that was really yours, or it also could be, since we're all connected, it could be seeing something else, but it's whatever you need at that particular time. It could be somebody else's life, but we'll see the past life. We even go through the death because sometimes that's really important, how the person died. And for example, they might have fears now. Somebody that has a fear of water may have drowned in a previous life. And then once you see that that's what happened, there's no reason to be fearful. Even somebody that might want to lose weight and can't, they may have died by starvation in a previous life. And now their body, their subconscious is keeping all that extra weight on them. But now once you realize, here we're, 2025, food is plentiful. There's no way you're going to starve to death. Once your subconscious understands that, then the weight can just start going off and get you to a healthy weight. But so we do that. Then we actually, before the session, the client gives me a list of questions, and maybe like 8-10 questions. And so I'll ask to talk to their higher self. And it's like they're channeling the information from a higher being. And it's so interesting because at that time, I can tell whether it's a voice from the higher self or if they're trying to be alpha and they're trying to butt in and give me answers instead. Just their voice will change. Maybe they'll talk faster or slower, or even the tone of their voice, higher or lower. The words they use. So I'll ask a question, does Wendy, blah, blah, blah. And the answer will be, well, she, and then the answer. And when the client is trying to answer instead, they start using I. And it's like, okay, then that's when my Bossy Woo has to come in. I have to stop. And I warn them ahead of time. I don't know if you guys know Dr. Laura. She's a radio psychologist, and sometimes she's really blunt. So before I actually had Bossy Woo, I would just tell them, I will Dr. Laura you if you got off track. I'm just going to put you back on track quickly. And so we get all the answers we need. And when we get an answer, I always keep asking, is there anything else they need to know? Is there anything else? And then when we're done with that, we'll move to the next one. Then once we get through all the questions, then I actually take them through a healing, a full body healing. We'll ask if the higher self is willing to do that. And it could heal them physically, mentally, spiritually. Wow. And I've had people tell me they feel like tingles or something going through their whole body as that healing is happening. And after that happens, then, is there anything else the client should know? And continue that until we're finished. And then we thank the spirits, whoever it was that showed up during a session, and come back to present time. And what I discovered doing, so many people came wanting to know what their life purpose was. And since originally Dolores said, you only need one session. Well, we do one session, they would get some information, but then I didn't have any way to follow up with them at the time. And I realized I can't really just let them go out on their own and try and do it, because if they were able to do it before, they would have done it before they came to me. So that's why I now we start and figure out some stuff in the beginning, but then I'm there to help them, create their new path to attain their purpose. And then our purpose is changing all the time too, because now we've got these goals and these purposes. And once we get there, we've got that. Now what? We can't just
Mhm.
stop and sit around for the rest of our lives. There's always something new experiences to do, new people to help. So it's fun.
Nice.
Wow. It's like you give them or you help them to open up and they have one piece of information that's like, okay, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
Here's another door opens. I love that, Val.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Steph, do you have anything otherwise?
No, that was really interesting. I like that.
I would love for you to tell us about the Bossy Woo.
Yes.
How I knew Steph was like, what? So tell us how that all came about.
It sort of started as a joke. I had somebody helping me with my biography. And, I just had basic blah, 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 not really in depth anything. And she goes, you need more, you need more. And I said, well, I think my mom wrote in my baby book that I was bossy. It actually turned out to be I was selfish, but I look at it, all kids are selfish. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, I go, bossy. And, because, yeah, well, you need to put that in there. But then since I do the spiritual stuff and the chakras and all that woo-woo stuff, it's just like bossy woo. Okay, so this is how I'm going to work with my clients. Because I've had coaches in the past, not you, Wendy, of course, that when I have a question about something, it's like being in therapy. It's like, what do you think? Well, I wouldn't have hired a coach if I knew what I was supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I wanted to do. If there's something they need to know, I'm going to tell them and I'm going to, stay with them and help them with that. So it's sort of a little bossy guiding them on that way,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's spiritual stuff. So it was
Yeah.
bossy woo.
Yeah.
But then as it grew, it's more like once they get the courage to go out there and start what they need to do to get on their path and to get to their purpose, now they get the confidence and they can be bossy. They're the boss of their own life. And they have that spiritual connection because we talk about the intuition and how do you get the messages from your higher self. And so those two together, they're the boss of their own life with that spiritual connection helping them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Bossy Woo. In fact,
Do you have something printed?
my little Bossy Woo hat.
I love
have
that.
another one in my car. It's bright pink. And then I have my Bossy Woo shirts, which I didn't wear today, but yeah.
I love it. That's so fun.
My husband actually wears a hat that says Bossy Woo.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. And so when he wears that hat, I would imagine in public.
He does, except the one I got for him is black. I didn't make him wear a pink one. But
Okay.
but it says Bossy Woo.
But do people stop him and go, what?
Not yet. Not yet.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
They haven't stopped me either, but I figure they just need to experience it. They need to get used to seeing it. Or say, that was the whole point.
Yep. Well, and I like it in the sense of like when you are actually doing the hypnotherapy, like where it's like there's the bossy piece of like, I'm gonna call you out if you're, trying to connive here, like it's not gonna work.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's cool. I love that. That's so fun. Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. I feel like pretty much almost everyone we have interviewed has had a journey. Like, we don't have straight lines to this journey of life, right? But it's interesting that what called you to police officer work when you were younger? Like what made you get into that? And I'm just kind of curious, like, because sometimes there is like a sort of a through line, even though it doesn't make sense, like when you think about it,
Growing up, I always watched police shows and things on TV. And I don't have anybody in our family that was like that. Some people, dad or mom or grandfather and everybody, it's a whole generational thing. That wasn't in our family. But I just liked the law and order stuff. And then when I graduated college, I was too short. I was living in Los Angeles. And like LAPD, you had to be 5'6". I was too short. I mean, the sheriffs, you had to climb this wall. Oh my goodness. I tried. I didn't actually test for them, but I tried practicing climbing a wall. With female, you have your lower center of gravity. It's a little harder
Yeah.
to get to that.
Yeah, to climb a
So
wall.
yeah, and it was like 6 foot wall, I think, and I was only 5'4". So
Oh my.
Wow.
now I'm 5'5", so grew an inch. But I just went off on my life and did other things, and then I moved from LA to Las Vegas. And my brother was a fireman, and I would
Mhm.
go visit him at station. I go, that seems like a really neat job. Maybe I'll test for that.
Mm.
And so that's actually what I was doing, because they said, just take all the tests that you can, do all the
Okay.
interviews, eventually you'll get a job.
Yep.
And so that's what I started doing.
Mhm.
And the
Oh.
test came out for the police department, and I just took that for practice. And they offered me a job before the fire department did.
Wow.
And just figuring out the two, what's better? Here, police officer, I get to drive around all day, which I love to do, talk to people, help people that way, and I get to go home at night and see my dog. Fire department, you're stuck in a building with 3 or 4 people that you may or may not like for 24 hours. So it's like, here, the other one it's really perfect for me. And plus, when I think about it too, it's like, I'm only 5'5", and trying to carry ladders around and all that equipment. Physically, I don't think I could have done it for many years if I'd been hired.
Yeah.
So I think the universe was guiding that. So that was perfect.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. And it makes sense. And yeah, that's really cool. It's another side of the bossy, right?
Another side of the Bossy Woo.
That's funny too, because when I think back of all my jobs, they pretty much all been bossy. Because as a UPS driver, there I got to drive around. You don't talk to people as much, but you're rushing. And I had that time it was clipboards before computers, but you stick the clipboard in somebody's face and it's like, sign here. And then you run back to your truck. And then as a flight attendant, it's like, sit down, put your seatbelt on, no smoking. So you got to be bossy there. And if somebody does try and smoke, open the door and yell at them. So, so. Go back to your seat, sit down. You could have killed people. Okay.
Okay.
Don't get Valerie mad. No, she will put you in your place, literally. No, but
then I've got the woo where I could give you the hug to calm you down.
Exactly. It's like the best of both worlds. You've got the bossy, you've got the woo, and you blend them beautifully together, obviously, as you can see. Okay, so I'm reading more into your information and the I don't know about you, but every time I'm on a podcast and I answer the questions, I never remember what I wrote. But just Valerie, talking about going back to the session you had with a client with a quantum healing hypnosis, you said something stopped you in your tracks in that session because it was actually a message for you. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, and then I have another story too, if you want to hear it.
We like stories.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was talking about there was, okay, so when we get to the question part, okay, this is the question, I'll read it or I'll rephrase it however it needs to be done, and then waiting for the answer. Well, the answer that came through had nothing to do with the client's question.
Yeah.
But it pertained to something that happened to me at home that morning, which my client would have never known. And I was like, what? I go, what did you just say? And they repeated it. And then said, is that from me? And I said, yes. And I was like, whoa. So that was interesting. That was the first time. It's like, I knew it worked because the clients would get answers and they would feel great at the end of a session. But, I'm the one on the outside watching. I've even had sessions where the answers, the client doesn't actually speak out loud because I'm not supposed to know the answers. So something like that, I would just say, okay, when you give them the answer, have the client lift their finger when you're done, when I'm ready for the next one. But that was the first time, like, I really knew something is going on. And around that time, maybe a little bit later, there was a lady in town who was learning the QHHT method, and she wanted somebody to, oh God, I've got chills as I tell this story. She called me and asked if I would be a practice client for her. And I said, okay. And when whenever I do a session is, an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours long. So I don't drink anything. So we don't have to take bathroom breaks halfway through. And during that session, I was laying down, I was in it. All of a sudden, I had to go to the bathroom so bad. And we were in it was a little casita bedroom with an attached bathroom. And I got up to go in the restroom and I was really dizzy. I could barely make it from the
wow.
bed to the bathroom. I went in there and I had to hold on to the counter for a few minutes and
Oh my
went and did my
gosh.
business and came back. And it was weird. We started again. And all of a sudden, it's like my legs started. It was like I couldn't lay still, my shuffling around and doing things. And I finally was like, I have to stop. I can't continue with this. I don't know why, but I have to stop. And we were only about halfway through. And what I thought the reason was that I had to stop was because I didn't want to know the answer to some of the questions that I had given her on my list.
Okay.
And so for a few years, that's what I thought. It's like, I just had this fear and I didn't want to know. And I stopped myself. And during a session, it just happened where I again was talking to the higher self. And I said, can I ask you about what happened during that session? And it turns out there was some kind of negative entity that was sort of attached to this other person trying to get into somebody. And because of the work I had been doing, my intuition tapped into it so well that I was able to stop and not get harmed by that thing.
Yeah.
And that was so interesting. And I've been trained in spirit releasement when, spirits do get attached to people, but I never really had to use it before. And just recently, a few weeks ago, I had a client who came to me and I used it. And that was so interesting, being able to help getting rid of something that was causing negative energy in her. And there are things out there that we really don't know. And it's not always our own personality that's causing us to be mean or sad or bad or whatever. It could be something else that got attached to us. I have a friend who passed away who all of a sudden her personality changed. And unfortunately, I did not have this training before she passed because I would have loved to see if that would have helped her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, we are the light workers in the world. There are dark forces. That's true. But we are the light workers in the world.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I feel, chills as I go. You guys are great. You're making me happy. Lots of connections here. No, but I feel like I'm here for a reason for that. Like I'm already protected because I've had stuff happen to me that bad things could have happened, but they don't. So I'm supposed to be here for a reason. And, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to anyway. When you're doing all this work, you're supposed to, bring light around you and do this and do that to be protected. I feel I'm already protected. So half the time I don't even do it because I'm already where I'm supposed to be. So I don't really need to do this extra stuff.
Yep.
So
yeah, I kind of navigate through the world similarly. I've been, I've learned a lot of energy work throughout the years, and they tell you that, and I am a feeler of the energy, so I innately feel it. And I've told a few stories on here of like, there was a shop up in Rockport that like every time I walked in, and it was an energy shop, like, spiritual shop. And there was this one set, like I always felt negative energy when I walked in, but when I got to a certain spot, it was like overwhelming, like suffocating. So I would have to leave the shop immediately. And like everyone who came to visit was like, can we go to that shop? And I'd just be like, yeah, I'll be out on the curb, and but for the longest time, I'd try to figure out what exactly was going on there. But there, I hear about people who have issues with this or that. And it's very interesting to me because, I guess you get to a certain point of learning and lives and things where, you know how to navigate it without allowing that to permeate your energy, So it's like your spheres, like you've gotten to the point you don't need to be continually building them
Mhm.
before you go in. It's like they're just consistently around
Mhm.
you. Yes, there are times when you do need to do those meditations and
Right.
just reconnect yourself to them. But yeah, I definitely feel like that is one of those things that there are certain people that it just, I don't think you're alone. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, oh, go ahead, Wendy.
Well, I was going to say there might be another layer to that. So, you might be protected. You might know
Yeah.
that intuitively.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until maybe about a year ago, but when I started taking a course, my instructor was like, "Oh my gosh, Wendy, your energy is really good." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "No, you've never been on the hit list. You've never been targeted. You don't have dark force energy. You've not sold your soul in this lifetime or past lifetime." She's like, "That's rare." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, go me." I didn't realize how rare that was until I get deeper and deeper into this. So that might be your case, Valerie. You might have very clear energy, like there's nothing that's ever been on you. I don't know, because I didn't ask to check your energy, so I have no idea. You can probably check it yourself. Same with stuff. I don't know. You might be in the I have not asked.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've experienced this, either one of you, but just throughout my entire life, I have felt protected, and I didn't understand why until like a year ago. It's like, oh, that's why I was put on this earth to be a soul protector. Got it. And in that, I am protected. Like, I will give you an example. Where I grew up, there was a lane that here's the field that my dad owned, and beyond that there was like a little point where the lane kept going, but it was no longer my father's land. It was someone else owned it. And so when I walked down that, I kind of felt, that's a little weird, but I feel like I'm protected. And then the third path kept going, but it was yet another person's property, and there was an old shack on it, like abandoned kind of thing. And when I got close to that, I was like, oh, I got to turn around and go back, because it just felt off. So I'm thinking there was lost souls. There was something that was happening there. But beyond that, I always felt protected. I always got those hits like, Wendy, turn around. Get your ass out of there. Like Stephanie in the store. Like, no.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Yeah. Well, and I think for me, like, the other day I went to my friend's wellness center, and there was a person meditating in the back room, and it was just them and us in the space. And when I first walked in, I was fine, but I sat down on the couch, and all of a sudden I just got hit with this like wave of nausea and like dizziness, like hard dizziness. And so I was like breathing through it and drinking some water and trying to figure out what the heck was happening. And I realized that it was whoever was back there meditating, like their energy was, something was off. And so I just kind of did what I had to do. And then I was like, I gotta go. And I figured that once I got out to my car, it would clear. And it really, it took a bit. I had to do some of my own energy clearing, you know? But yeah, that was a crazy amount of energy that was coming off of that person. Like, it was pretty weird. Yeah.
Well, I had something that happened to me just as I was finishing college. And it's actually what I wrote about in my second book. I now have two books. Yay. This one's Whispers of the Soul. And both of them are collaborations. So I have a chapter in each one. The first one's A Call Within, and then the other one, Whispers of the Soul. This one I almost didn't write about.
Oh, wow.
Because it was college, and I worked at the tennis courts. We'd check people in like on the hour, and then the racquetball courts in half an hour, and there was always two of us. Well, my partner didn't show up that day on time because she had a fire in her kitchen. So I knew she was going to be late. And so that's okay. And I go and check people into the racquetball court. And while I'm there, I'm just going to use the restroom. And the first restroom I went into, it was trashed. I guess there was a tournament or something that day. And there's no paper towels. There's no nothing. There's grass from the field in there. And so I'm going to go on the other side of the building and go to the restroom. And as I walked through the lobby, there was a guy standing there, was gym bags next to him. And, I see him. And so I go in the restroom. And while I'm still in the stall, all of a sudden I hear the door. And this is the first time when I realized somebody was guiding me because I became so aware. I got chills again. And I just start thinking that, if this is a girl, she's going to be going to the bathroom. She's going to brush her hair, washing her hands, something. And no, it was this guy standing outside my stall. And it was as long as I was there, it was good. But it was just, it was sort of calming. Like everything just sort of slowed down. It was like, I was only 21 years old. And, he said, do these things or I'm going to kill you. But I thought, if this is my time to go, it's too bad, I never got married. I never had kids. I never did this. But if it's my time, it was okay. It was really weird how calm that was. But just the fact that all these things to help me through that situation were just coming to me. And I just had that awareness. I wasn't even doing spiritual work at the time. I like to investigate ghosts, but that was a whole different thing. And but that was the first time I realized that I was really protected, and everything turned out okay. I didn't get hurt. The guy never got caught, but but that was my first realization that God is out there, the universe, somebody guiding me and helping me. And
that's amazing. That is, oof.
All the chills.
Yeah.
All the chills.
But I almost didn't even write about that because it was that happened when I was 21, and now, I'm 68. 40 years ago. And it's still, I hadn't even told my husband until a few months before I got the opportunity to write this book. And when I started to write it, I kept stopping, and I started, I would cry. And I told one of my friends who was also one of the authors, I go, I can't do this. And she read what I was writing and she goes, no, you have to, because she had a similar story. She goes, people need to see this. And it's like, well, so women need to know that they can get themselves out of situations, or people in general need to know that if there is, because from there, it did change my life. I was going to be a teacher, and I couldn't go to school after that for a while. And it just, the whole thing changed just because it stopped me from doing things at that time. But people means something bad. There might be an incident in your life that you think is bad at the time. It might put you on another path. The good things. That was what you were supposed to get at the time, so you could get from there to where you really needed to be. And instead of letting that ruin your whole life and, just getting depressed and curling up in a ball and not doing anything, keep moving, even if it's just little baby steps, and you'll get to where you need to be. So this is just being guiding to get you on another path. Or sometimes you need some blocks in the road that just could be the block to get you there.
Wow. That's it. Just keep moving forward. And when you're in those situations that's scary, or, you feel like you have a feeling something bad's going to happen, just stop and call in your angels. I call in my angels of the highest and best in love and light. Help me. And they will. Because they are always like sitting on the edge of their seat, just going, okay, she needs us. Let's go.
Just waiting for you to call them.
Really.
Yeah, it is. It's funny too, like thinking of when I was 20-ish and the things that you do as a 20-year-old that you don't really think about, but where you realize like, something was watching over me. Something was making sure I was safe, it is interesting. Like I went to school in Boston, so I would, walk all over Boston and, just, I never, honestly, almost never felt unsafe, but I also knew where to be and where not to be. And, I always, I would wear headphones, but I'd keep the volume so low that I could hear everything around me, like I wasn't naive and like, oh, let's just tone everything out. Like,
Right.
So yeah, it's just interesting, but, mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's the echo again. It's so weird. What is
It is
going
weird.
on?
Maybe that's your angel trying to get your attention.
Maybe.
Yeah. No. Okay. I'm like, are you trying to get my attention? No. Okay. Maybe it's Steph's angels. Maybe it's Valerie's angels. Let's see. I feel like we're at a good point to kind of start heading home. Steph is verifying that. Valerie, can you share with the listeners, viewers, you have a complimentary session, right? That you want to, anybody that has connected with Valerie during this time together is like, oh, I want to know more about me. I want to know more about her. Can you tell us about your session?
Yeah, I actually have two things, if that's okay. One is
Yes.
it's called a missing to mission map that they can just download and exercises to help them. And then if they want to have a session, so it's just 30 minutes, complimentary, and we'll figure out, where are you in your life right now? Where do you want to go? What's stopping you? What's keeping you from doing that? And let me get the links real quick. I made them really easy ones, so they're not like a thousand letters. Okay, so the first one, and I can put it in the chat if you want, tinyurl.com and then slash missing hyphen to hyphen mission hyphen map. So tinyurl.com slash missing hyphen to hyphen mission hyphen map. And then the other one, so that's just to download the map. The other one is for the call, starting tinyurl.com slash missing to mission. Just so tinyurl.com missing to mission.
Beautiful.
And yeah, that'd be great if you could put them in the chat, and then I'll put them in the show notes. Put them in the chat,
and then we'll make sure that they are in the show notes and clickable and all the things. And so you can also visit Valerie at her website, valerieholden.com. Wow, what a call.
Yeah.
Wow, what a call. And I feel like I was assigned to be your coach, Valerie, for a reason, way back when. And I think this might be it.
I think so.
All right. Yep. You got another one?
Oh, I was just going to put in my website if you want.
Perfect. Yep. Well, it has been so nice to chat with you, catch up, learn about your past and how that has impacted and put you on this journey. And here you are at now. And just wow, Valerie. It's been a pleasure.
Sure has.
It's been so nice talking to you guys. Yeah, it's been fun. I don't think I've had that many chills in a long time in this 20 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is definitely not what I was expecting to talk about, all these stories and stuff, but it's so much fun. I mean, that's what we needed to talk about today.
Yeah,
that is it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and it was really interesting to hear about your the quantum healing treatment that you do, and it was all very interesting. So thank you for being a guest, and I hope people take advantage of your gifts and come learn more with you.
Exactly.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, thank you. All
Thank
right.
you, Wendy.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Yep. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.